So yesterday I talked about the fact that Alina Habba, the acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, has of course filed criminal charges, or I guess I should say, announced that she is going to be filing criminal charges against Democratic Congresswoman Lamb Monica Maciver. And in doing so, I brought up several points about how weird Alina Habba's announcement was. First and foremost, I talked about the fact that she made this announcement. She cited U.S. Code. She said what she is charging Maciver for, but she hadn't actually filed the documents yet, which means she announced these charges without actually having filed the charges. And I talked about the fact that that's very weird, but it turns out that's worse than weird. It's probably illegal, and I'll get more to that in a minute. But I will just say, the defendant, whoever is being charged, actually has the right to know about the charges prior to them being publicly announced. That's not how that works. And there's a very specific legal reason for that. Again, that I will get to in just a moment. But another thing she did was admit that, we tried to work out a deal with her, which, when you don't have criminal charges actually filed, you can't work out a deal with somebody to not file the charges. That's weird. This is a criminal case, not a civil case. So I know you're not looking for any kind of settlement, but it all showed that Alina Habba is a very dumb and incompetent lawyer. Now U.S. Attorney, which is exactly what you would expect. Turns out that appointing your most incompetent legal representative to be a U.S. Attorney to go after your political enemies may not have been the smartest move that Donald Trump has ever made, because Alina Habba botched it so badly that, according to MSNBC legal analyst Lisa Rubin, the prosecution is likely already dead on arrival due to the myriad mistakes that Alina Habba made. A little bit of a feather in my cap. Lisa Rubin pointed out the exact same things that I pointed out in my original video. She just provided a much better legal context. So that's why I'm doing this follow-up. But here is what Rubin had to say. The thing here that's so unusual is that I can't recall another instance in which you see a U.S. attorney going out publicly as charges are filed and before they've even been in the defendant's own hands, which is something we know from her legal team, and saying, "We tried to negotiate a solution here and that wasn't forthcoming." You have an obligation as a U.S. attorney not to engage in conduct in terms of your public statements that could prejudice a jury pool against a defendant, by saying that she offered her an opportunity to come to a resolution that could be prejudicial contact or conduct, in and of itself. Prejudicial contact or conduct, she had misspoken, and they concluded in the transcript now. It's got me all flustered. Prejudicial conduct by a U.S. attorney is enough to have charges dropped because it means the person cannot get a fair trial. And that is effectively what happened here. Alina Habba 1, laying out the charges U.S. Code. All of this before the defendant even gets the charges in their hand. And 2, letting people know that we tried to come to a resolution. We didn't want to have to do this. She rejected our offers. All of that taints the jury pool. Once that jury pool is tainted, it cannot be untainted. We can't go and erase people's memories about what was said by the actual U.S. attorney. And that means that any judge that does get these, when they finally go to, pretrial motions and all that, is likely going to receive an immediate motion to dismiss and will likely grant it because of this prejudicial conduct that Alina Habba engaged in. So again, legal expert pointing out the same points that I made, explaining them in a much better way than I ever could, by the way. But all of this points to the fact that you can't put your dumbest lawyer in a position of power and not expect her to still make the same stupid mistakes that she was making when she lost your trials for you. This is exactly what we should have expected from Alina Habba. It's exactly what most of us did expect. And hey, once again, her own incompetence is likely going to ruin her legal case because she's just that bad at practicing law. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this.